Hi, folks. This is Celia Hamilton from the Social Biz User Group. Thanks for listening to this podcast. With me today, I have a couple of gentlemen who have a really interesting story to tell. The first is IBM champion Simon Vaughan from Outside In Collaboration, which deals with straight-on adoption of IBM Connections, especially in the education space. He's been in IT for almost 20 years. Simon launched SocialStudent.com, a global website launched at Lotusphere 2012 that lets students share documents and collaborate across semesters and campuses. Simon has been working with various partners across the globe on this project, and one of them has also joined me today. Jim Anderson is president and owner of Anderson Technical Services. He has been a consultant in the IBM Note space for 19 years and is currently working with Simon to launch a version of SocialStudent in the U.S. Simon and Jim, thanks for talking to me today.
Hi.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So let's jump into the question. Oh, go ahead.
I got to say, the last podcast I did like this was This Week in Lotusphere with Darren and Stuart. And on that podcast, one was a good boy, one was a bad boy. So I think Jim can be the good boy, I'll be the bad boy.
That sounds good. So, Simon, give me a quick idea of what SocialStudent is and why you felt it was necessary to launch this site.
Yeah, good question. So I've been working with IBM Connections since it really launched back in 2007. So we've seen Connections when it was launched at Lotusphere in 2007. We made the initial commitment at Cardiff University to actually purchase the tool, and we were one of the first customers to actually take the leap. And we were working with Connections from the early days through to Connections 2, Connections 2.5, etc. And one of the things that I've seen is that it became more and more prevalent that the social journey was not about the technology, it was really about the use cases and how you could really develop use cases to get the tools embedded into an organization. And that was particularly true in a educational institution. So what we really started looking at is around a number of phases, particularly around how you use social to actually recruit the best students, how you onboard them into the university, and how you bring social into the experience when they actually first look at the university or an institution. Because students of today are used to using social tools in their daily life. They're used to using Facebook. They're used to all these tools, and they expect now to look for the university with a social presence. So the first thing was really the use case around recruiting. What could we do on a recruiting perspective to actually attract the best students? You then look on the retention side. How do you then engage students into various activities in the social dimension of the organisation to actually engage them during their stay at the university? Importantly as well, how you then interact in the academic side, so how you link it in with the formal learning systems, how you then allow faculty, schools to use the tools to collaborate with their students, with fellow lecturers, and importantly with external organisations. And then also how you move into the alumni space, so how you use social to actually connect and engage with alumni. So what I'd seen then was various use cases. Could see that no one really was making any headway into this space, and working with Stephen Langton, a partner in South Africa, we came up with a concept of SocialStudent. Of course, from then onwards, it's been taking quite a lot of traction, a lot of interest in it, and we were working, developing use cases, developing the new ways of work, and actually working with institutions to actually see the benefits from these tools, really social and education in their environment.
Great. And then, Jim, what do you have to do to Simon's model to make it ready for the U.S. audience?
The nice part about Simon's model is it's about education, and education is a global concept. Students as a body are much more tech-savvy than at any point in human history. What we've done is we have taken advantage of IBM's development cycle, and we have brought SocialStudent US up here within the U.S. borders to comply with and make it easier for the legal aspects that universities have with data retention. But we have brought it up as IBM Connections 4.5. That's the newest, greatest version of it. In addition, we've included some of the tools from other business partners in this as well to make it more usable and provide a platform that has some very distinct advantages for the universities. We've included in here kudos badges, which have been around for a while, but they have brought on new features for the actual analytics, so that now faculty has the ability to see how the students are participating, when the students are participating. Some of our use cases with universities in New York, you can tell the metrics where students are all of a sudden, it's 3 days before the end of the semester, and all of a sudden there's this great flurry of activity that's highlighted right away.
Right.
With another feature that we've added, another product from one of our business partners, is the eFox Rich Text Editor, which allows the cutting and pasting of documents from Word and putting them directly into Connections and retaining the formatting. This is particularly useful and exciting because previously you lost the formatting, it was just plain text going in, and it made it very cumbersome to move your existing documents from the file server into a collaborative environment. That hurdle has been overcome, and it has been met with a tremendous round of applause. We've also got in here a product called Trilog, by Trilog, called Project Zec. This is a true project management tool that is collaborative, does not require Microsoft Project to be installed on everybody's desktop and go through those costs. It is a project management tool that lets all of the students collaborate on projects, on assignments, and see their workload and everything else right there on the screen. So from Simon's model, we took that, brought up the latest and greatest and the best that we could find. We're using the leverage that we have in the business partner ecosystem to add features into the system and making this a true showcase.
So why did you choose the IBM Connections platform for the site?
Okay, what, you mean there's more than one platform?
No, none.
Okay, so I've actually been using quite a number of social tools over the past few years. I use Jive, for example, on a regular basis in the Dash's Social Business Council. I've used SocialCast, I've used Yammer and SharePoint. But really what you see with Connections, and one of the real advantages around why we selected the platform and why we've been really moving forward in this area, is the sort of rich ecosystem that you have there. Jim mentioned a number of partners that we've integrated into the SocialStudent environment. But what it really does, it allows an institution to actually decide if they want to really keep with the base Connections product, or if they want to go with some of the partners that we've actually partnered with to actually extend the environment. The other reason for Connections was the ability to customize and extend. So within SocialStudent, we've created our own unique and I would say first-of-a-kind landing page, whereby we've called it the Campus Life tab, whereby we've got a graphical representation of the student life cycle and enables us to actually give a easy map and an easy way of finding communities and information which a student needs. The other one was really it gives you all social tools in one place. I know that may have a negative impact and a positive impact, but where I see it really is in this journey of adopting social, you really have got two options. You know, you can start small, decide which tools you want to start using. For example, you may bring the students in and start collaborating via a wiki or a forum. You may then add more features into a community and or grow big, start big, and move out. But really, Connections gives you the rich ecosystem, which gives you the ability to actually choose if you want to start small, if you want to go big. But it also gives you an environment which is there out of the box without much customization. If you look at some of the other tools, my feeling is that they do need to be customized, they need to be adopted, and you do need a lot more training. That's not to be said that in the Connections of SocialStudent environment you don't need training, because training is a key part of the adoption process that we go through, and a key part of the adoption cookbook that we've developed to actually enable an institution to understand the use case, understand the benefits, and then working through training and actual use cases, really get into exploring and using the tool for their benefit.
Now I'm going to jump in, if I may, just
Sure.
to add a couple of other features. One of the big points for me to get involved in Connections and Social Students is the security of the system. We have a tremendous emphasis on security in the institutions, data retention. There are a multitude of legal requirements behind all of this, and that's all covered in the Connections environment. IBM has done a stellar job with making sure that security is one of their top concerns in this and focuses. The other aspect in this that lends itself to an institution is the incorporation of analytics. They have the ability to do analyses, present those analyses, the analytics, to faculty, to administration. All of that's included in here and provides the reports that faculty needs to make sure that the students are on track doing what they need to be doing. This will also tie in with where they go in the future because it brings in the element of mentoring, of getting alumni to come in and participate with the students, help students secure new career paths. All of that is part of the Connections platform, and that's what makes it a platform, not just a piece of software. This is an entire platform system that serves as a portal to education.
Yeah, and maybe if I can just add one more as well.
Sure.
You know, one of the big benefits that I see in this is the whole area around collaboration, around partnerships, and around people who are actually using the tool sets. So Collaboration Matters, for example, host our SocialStudent and SocialStudent US instance, and their wealth of knowledge, but also the wealth of knowledge around the Connections community and experts who you can actually call on to help you out if you've actually got a problem. You know, that then shouldn't be underestimated because there's lots of people out there who are now into this technology, using this technology, look at improvements to this technology. And what we're doing is drawing on some of that when we hit a problem and actually getting a solution faster than if we were using some other system which wouldn't have that rich ecosystem and great network of people who are willing to help you as well.
And you're both aiming at a generation of people who've likely always had computer access in their homes. They've grown up with Facebook and Twitter and all those sharing tools, more so than what you find in the average enterprise. I know I didn't grow up with any of those things. How does the learning curve for Connections, when you're dealing with students as the users, compare to the learning curve for Connections at the average enterprise?
Do you want to take that one first, Jim, or do you want me to? I'll take it off. And, you know, one of the things I think that we found is that everybody is forever comparing the tool set with Facebook. And I think one of the conceptions that you need to get over first off is, okay, we're not competing in the Facebook space. Facebook is updated regularly. It's a great tool, etc. But it's an environment whereby information is shared in the open and it's shared amongst everybody. What we're looking at is a tool for an institution, for a group of institutions, which really allows them, as Jim said, to actually store information in a secure place and enables them to actually keep the IP and the information within their environment. Now, one of the things that we've seen, it's quite interesting, we were talking to a university just today, and he said, you know, when the undergraduate students were coming on, looking at the environment, they were picking it up without too much training. They were getting in, they were using the wikis, they were using the blogs, they were posting questions in the forum, etc. The MBA students were picking it up, but they were picking it up at a slower speed. Not to say they didn't pick it up, but one thing that you do see with the students is that they're continually pushing the boundaries and they're continually asking for enhancements, for new things. You know, mobile, for example, they all want to use their mobile device.
Right.
One of the things that we're continually asked inside of SocialStudent is, okay, when is IBM updating the mobile application to do this, to do that? And I think that is a great thing because these then we feed back into IBM through either the Greenhouse user community or through other areas. And this is a great way to actually get feedback from the younger generation who are going to be the managers of tomorrow and the bosses of tomorrow. So I think, you know, yes, it's a challenge. They're used to using Twitter, they're used to using Facebook, and they're used to using so many different tools. But, you know, they do come in, they do pick it up, and it is quite well accepted.
one of the advantages that we're finding in all of this is the students are actually pushing us. They are so used to using these tools that it's almost hard to keep up with them and their requests at times. IBM has been kind enough to open up their doors so that we can get the feedback directly to the developer groups at IBM for these new models of using Connections and SocialStudent that the students are introducing us to. It's amazing to watch what they can do. They come up with ideas and thoughts and ways of using this that we have not thought of. When you have so many students looking at collaboration and then you bring in faculty, inter-university communications, collaboration between universities, all of these things open up brand new doors of communication across the globe. And collaboration is developing a brand new face, and it's based out of Connections.
And to sort of like extend on that a little bit, the past few years at Connect, IBM has invited hundreds of college-age students to participate in that first day, and here you both are also targeting that same age group. How essential is a young user base for a platform's viability?
Well, one thing I'll say is that these people are going to be the leaders of tomorrow.
Right.
And they're going to go into, once they've been through, school, through college, through university, hopefully then get their degree, they're going to become, the people who are actually leading us into the future. And once they've used Connections in a school environment, in a college environment, university environment, hopefully then they're knocking on the door of the decision makers in the next company to say, okay, why aren't we experiencing a similar type of experience in this company that we experience in our university, our college, our school? Because, that is what they now need, and that's the way that they expect to collaborate. The generation of today don't expect to collaborate by email. What the generation today expect to do is to actually share, to use the social tools to actually work in different ways. And I think, that's a big point, and a big selling point as well.
I think that this is also... Excuse me?
Sorry. No.
I think from a platform viability perspective, the younger user base is indispensable. As I said earlier, they're giving us ideas that we have not thought of yet. We're feeding those back to IBM. They're actually becoming part of the development cycle, and they're setting the stage for a wave of collaboration to start going between institutions around the world, and it's only going to see incur growth or cause growth in the platform itself. It's starting to have impacts already, and Connections is still at 4.5. When you see Connections 9 or 10, I am sure you're going to see the handprints of students all over that. They are an integral part of the development of this, and they're going to be showing everybody how to collaborate.
I think one of the other key points as well, although we've called it SocialStudent, it really is social aimed at education, so it's really social and education. And when you're targeting this education, you're also targeting at the staff, you're targeting at the administrators, you're targeting at the teachers, because a key part of how you could use these social tools is how you can also improve the way that they perform their role, the way they do their work, and remove a lot of the burden from their processes, from their roles, etc. So as well as it being targeted at the students, is also a great tool to actually remove the burden and remove a lot of the administrative headaches that you get for other people. A key one is around research collaboration. How do you enable a researcher to collaborate with another researcher in a secure space? And don't do it out there on Google or on Dropbox or one of these other tools. What you really need to do is to provide a secure platform which enables collaboration to take place within the boundaries of the organization that you want to collaborate with, and you keep the IP within the boundaries of them organizations. So it's not just the students we're seeing taking benefits from this, it's throughout the spectrum as well. And we are seeing some real good use cases beginning to bubble to the surface around how this is actually used.
one of the things that has constantly amazed us is the idea of collaboration changes so significantly depending on who you talk to. And every time you talk to somebody, you literally are coming up with a new use case. You are seeing how they perceive their job, how Connections and SocialStudent makes their job easier, and then they start to get creative with that and look at how they interact with each other, how they interact with their job, and how they have multiple directions that they can go because now they have the freedom to collaborate in communities securely. So, for example, when you have campus housing as an organization in a university, you have campus housing as it relates to the students. You have campus housing as it relates to maintenance, as it relates to building projects, as it relates to the administration. All of these things now are in a central shared portal for the campus housing group. So they begin to take a different tact on how they approach it because now they have scheduling, they have instant notification, they have the communities dedicated to specific aspects of this. So everything starts to evolve at a faster pace. And it goes on through every one of the aspects of the education process, the education business, because there is a tendency to look at education more as a business now. That has developed over the past few years. There is an economic side to this. There is a need to collaborate, to have everything easily accessible. And when you start integrating different systems, that becomes cumbersome. When you have a single platform to work on, then it becomes simpler, and then users can almost find the information. The information that they need is delivered to them. That's part of what makes this a social environment and gives them a better way of doing their daily jobs.
And also to build on that, one of the things that we're seeing here is the social space really moves us from a me into a we culture. And this me to we really allows you to connect people. It allows you to connect multiple campuses, break down silos, etc. But the other key thing that we're seeing is that lots of universities are now looking, or lots of schools, lots of colleges are now looking, how do they become distinctive? How do they attract the best? How do they retain the best? And how then do they make sure that they encourage lifelong engagement with the institution? So once they've left, how do they actually tap into the alumni system, keep the alumni conversations going, and not just send them a newsletter every year, for example. What we're saying is that with a tool such as SocialStudent, this distinctive, unique collaboration is out there, is available, and all you need to do is come and talk to Jim, and he's got the solution ready for you right now. Sorry, shameless plug there.
That's all right. So, Jim and Simon, those are my questions. Thanks again for talking to me and the community, and best of luck to you with the success of SocialStudent.
Thank you.
Celia, thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity that you've given us here, and it's been a pleasure talking with you.
Well, thank you. And thanks to you, our listeners. Make sure to check out socialbizug.org. It's a user group community built like SocialStudent, entirely on Connections. We also have some Domino and XPages technologies thrown in there. It's built for IBM Notes and Domino administrators and developers. Membership is completely free, so sign up today. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at SocialBizUserGroup. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.